Our self-will is set against truth and knowledge because truth and knowledge always limit what you can desire. Our desires always exceed reality. And if you don't know that, just watch how credit cards are used. We will what is not. Romans 1 is the most important part of social analysis in the whole Bible. It talks about how people turn away from God and then they suppress the truth. You have a wonderful illustration of this in the case of Simon Magus in Acts 8. Simon Magus was a person who had certain abilities at least to fool people and make them think he was great. That's why he came to be known as Magnus. Chapter 8 of the book of Acts, you remember Philip is in Samaria and Peter and John come down, and the manifestations of the Holy Spirit in power are such that Simon Magus, who had lined himself up as a believer, offered money to John and Peter if they would give him the power to do the things that he saw them doing. Simon Magus was interested in power, but he was not interested in truth. The story on Simon Magus is that he eventually killed himself in Rome by announcing that he was going to fly from the top of a tower. And he jumped, but he didn't fly. God, Jesus, the third member of the Trinity in his eternal condition, turned it all loose. He didn't have power any longer. He subjected himself even to the death of the cross. Now, what does that show? That shows a will, a character. You see, it's in our heart that we decide what we are really about, and in particular, whether what we want will govern us. Will it be God or will it be us? And that abandonment that you see in Jesus is the abandonment that we ourselves can live in joyfully and with delight and also with power and with knowledge, and all of that comes together as God grows the human being into the kind of character that Christ has. Now suppose that everyone had that character. Or suppose that a significant percentage of the human race had that character. Then you can see that life would be very different. And that is the intention of the divine conspiracy in human history. So what God looks for is the heart, always the heart. The heart is where we decide what we're really going to be, what is going to govern us. And of course, the central issues, the surrendering of the will, abandoned to God, delighted in Him and His will. This theme, Deus absconditus, to use the Latin, everyone needs a little Latin, is an old one in the history of the church because God doesn't overwhelm you. God comes in ways that are gentle. The reason for that is because if God didn't hide from us, we couldn't hide from Him. He's so big that if He didn't hide, we couldn't hide. God does not overwhelm us. He does not jump down our throats. He remains hidden and available to those who seek Him. But He is not obvious because of the need to allow human desire and will to go its way, because that's what defines human character. And that is what both individual life and human history is about. Is God calling forth the human will and allowing the human being to have an identity.